It's like an episode of Punk'd, except Ashton Kutcher is playing with human lives just to get good footage. But isn't there a surge? Crossings have gone up. Big numbers are bad. You see, big numbers are worse than small numbers. And I have no interest in looking at nerd shit like data or, God forbid, data analysis. Ah! Ah! Oh no, it's data analysis! Help, please! Immigration policy analyst at the Cato Institute, David Beyer, did something called very basic statistical analysis, or whatever, and found that the surge is exactly the same as the surge in 2019, when you control for repeat border crossings. I.e., if a refugee gets turned away from the border and desperately tries to recross again, probably to escape death or something, well, then the uptick in repeat border crossings can be directly linked to Title 42 expulsions. You see, the Trump administration had a very cool response to the COVID pandemic. They didn't advocate for masks or other public health measures, not nonsense, but they did use the pandemic as an excuse to summarily expel any migrant coming to the border, even those seeking asylum. But hey, Orange Man gone now, and now we have Mr. Corn Pop Daddy as our president. And so this policy is now exactly the same. Advocates have called on the Biden administration to reverse the Title 42 expulsion rules, saying that not only does it deny people their rights to seek asylum, but it creates unsanitary and unsafe conditions by forcing people into crowded refugee camps in Mexico rather than releasing them to family members. The logic of Title 42 expulsions is that we should summarily deny asylum seekers a chance to seek asylum to prevent the spread of COVID. And so we force them into dense refugee camps or imprison them in overcrowded ICE detention centers, which reports have shown also increases the spread of COVID into the surrounding community. This approach to preventing COVID spread is like wearing an anvil out of an airplane instead of a parachute, so that the anvil can punish the ground for being there. And also, you're super racist. So this surge is manufactured from bad policy and Ted Cruz cosplay. But does that mean there's no crisis at the border?
Yay! Oh, everything is back to normal!
Jesus fucking Christ, Warmbo.
See, Mr. Cody? Mr. President Biden so made everything okie-dokie. No more kids in cages. Now kids get to experience the loving comfort of overflow facilities. Yay!
Wow, that looks, it's very child-friendly.
They can make fun superhero capes out of their thermal blankets. Whee! Yay! Ha ha! Normal!
In a way, you're right, Warmbo.
I am?
Yes, we are, in a sense, going back to normal.
We are?
But in this case, normal is actually bad.
Oh, Wombo don't feel so good. Oh.
You see, often people like to preen about how we're a country of immigrants, but we're a country of good, legal immigrants. Like our founding fathers, who loved the concept of obeying authority.
We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
But for the first 100 years of U.S. history, you were pretty much guaranteed to be a legal immigrant, because there was no such thing as illegal immigration. Our country was founded on open borders, and only in 1875 did we pass our first anti-immigration law. This was the Page Act of 1875, and it barred women from China from entering the U.S., which according to the lawmakers was meant to end the danger of cheap Chinese labor and immoral Chinese women. You see, it had the core American values of anti-Chinese racism, sexism, and topped off with the dehumanization of sex workers. Something we've totally left in our past and which has not come back to haunt us. Following the Page Act was the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which banned all immigration from China. And if you're wondering if it was racist, yes, it was. In this washing machine advertisement poster in support of the law, not only are Chinese immigrants depicted in racist caricatures, or as conservatives now like to call it, free speech drawings. The text of the poster advertises that the magic washer will cleanse Chinese people from the country. It's a cleansing, an ethnicity, some kind of ethnic cleansing, if you will. Well, gosh, where else have we heard anti-immigration rhetoric that labels immigrants as dirty? Oh, right. Racism never went away. You know what else never went away? Using a disease as an excuse to be racist. During the turn of the century, there was an outbreak of the bubonic plague in San Francisco that originated from rats aboard cargo ships. Now, stop me if you've heard this one before, but also, the only way to stop me is stopping the video, so please don't. But anyway, while medical experts warned the plague was spreading in 1900, the California governor refused to acknowledge it for 2 years, fearing how it would impact business and hurt California's economy. History, it's so boring. Good thing we never pay attention to it. The plague impacted San Francisco's Chinatown due to the connection between cargo ships' port of entry and the sewers that ran directly to Chinatown, allowing ship rats to infect the citizens of Chinatown. But due to anti-Chinese racism, not only was the plague ignored, but when people finally started paying attention to it, it was blamed on Chinese immigrants, despite the fact that they caught it from cargo ships and it was allowed to spread due to California's governor. Wow, that's really interesting, but irrelevant to modern times, I am sure. So, because being racist is a beloved American tradition, residents of Chinatown were blamed, and anti-Chinese racism ran rampant. Chinese Americans had their civil liberties suspended, and the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 was extended indefinitely. Using a plague as an excuse to keep racist immigration laws. Where have I heard that one before? Oh, right, at the beginning of this episode when we talked about Title 42 like 5 minutes ago. Cool, our country truly has come a long way, baby. And hey, to be fair, our early immigration laws weren't just racist. The Immigration Act of 1882, wherein immigrants by boat had to pay a head tax of 50 cents, which in today's money is about $12. It also allowed immigration officials to expel any immigrants who were a convict, lunatic, idiot, or any person unable to take care of him or herself without becoming a public charge. Lunatic and idiot are old-timey words for people with mental disabilities. So basically, it meant we could kick neurodivergent people out of the country. Cool and very freedom.
Normal, but Mr. Cody, Biden is just trying to keep immigrants safe.
God, I thought you died. Nice while it lasted.
Mr. Cody, according to The Hill, one of my most favoriteest news is the Biden administration don't want immigrants to hurt themselves. They say the journey is dangerous. Mr. Papa Biden is telling them not to come for their own good.
Warmbo, why are border crossings so dangerous?
Ouchie cactuses?
No, Warmbo. Murderous U.S. policy.
Uh-oh. Mr. Cody's saying the no-no words again.
Often, anti-immigration policy is couched in concern. Obama warned parents in Central American countries not to send their children due to the danger of the border crossing.
Do not send your children to the borders. If they do make it, they'll get sent back. More importantly, they may not make it.
For reference, people send their children to the U.S. to escape murder in Central America, partly due to the rise of gang violence. And hey, would you look at that? Turns out the rise of gang violence is caused by our deportation policy. Gangs that are started in the U.S. are then exported to Central America as we deport their members. Then we blame Central Americans for desperately sending their children here because the U.S. is very good at linear thinking, the best at that. But how did the border get to be so darn dangerous? Well, starting under Bill Clinton, rapist, and continuing under Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden, some other rapists, there's been something called Operation Gatekeeper. This is a policy of militarizing the U.S.-Mexico border, creating a deliberate death trap for migrants attempting to cross. Its stated goals were prevention through deterrence. The policy militarized areas of the border where border crossings were safer, near the California border, while having less presence to the east, near desert areas that were far more lethal. While congressional research admits that this has resulted in over 2 times the amount of deaths per year, which according to humanitarian groups estimates has killed over 10,000 people since 1994, the government's claim is that these deaths were unintentional. A real oopsie-goofer of an ethnic cleansing. Yikes-a-rooney doodle on that one, folks. But if it was a mistake, why was the stated intention of the policy a deterrence? What was the deterrence part, if not, you might die? Was the mistake that we underestimated how desperate people are to escape